Scammers target a Calgary woman searching for her sister.
He tried to FaceTime me, and then when I didn't answer, he was like, "Oh, you have no last words for your sister, you pig."
Police warn how AI is being used to perpetrate shocking cyber crimes. Plus, on board one of WestJet's new reconfigured airplanes.
Dad, can you just straighten out your legs there?
Impossible.
Tight travel and a big shock for a vacationing Alberta family.
When you buy a seat for a human, you should be expected to get a seat for a human.
And from the circus ring to the hockey rink.
They need to be able to zoom in and out as quickly as possible and gain that clarity.
How this Calgary Acrobat is helping goalies master their focus.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. A Calgary woman desperate to find her missing sister has been the target of heartless scammers. Deanna Erickson vanished last year. Someone, somewhere, sent her sister a disturbing AI-generated photo of the missing woman over social media and demanded payment for her return. Jacqueline Wilson reports.
Shelby Erickson won't give up hope. Her sister, missing since last spring, is alive.
She always was such a loving person and caring person. Like, she cared for all animals and all people.
Deanna Erickson was last seen getting off of a bus near the Shoppers Drug Mart in Walden on June 6th around 11 p.m., seeming disoriented. Shelby thinks she asked a stranger for a ride home.
Deanna didn't just take off, or she didn't just vanish. Like, she has to, someone knows something, and they're just not coming forward.
Police say the case remains open, and Shelby frequently posts about her search on social media. And that's where, in December, someone tried to scam her out of $10,000. The fraudsters used artificial intelligence to make a fake picture of Deanna tied up and being held hostage in a van, and told her to send them the money through Bitcoin or they'd kill her.
At that time, I was just like in shock and so scared, and I was going to go to the police right away.
Police say artificial intelligence has become an increasing problem, and missing person cases are a target.
We're starting to see in missing persons cases where victims are being contacted by criminals who are trying to extort them out of funds. With the AI images increasing and getting so sophisticated and so good, it is so important to be very skeptical about any images you see online.
And Jackie joins us from Walden tonight, where Deanna was last seen. So, Jackie, how is the investigation going?
Tara, police tell us that the case is still an open missing person case, and they are looking into it and hoping to hear from anyone who might have interacted or seen Deanna on June 6th between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. specifically if you were on the bus route 167. So if you think, you saw the photos there, you might know where Deanna is or might have seen her, please do contact police. And if you want to remain anonymous, you can still send in a tip. You do that through Crime Stoppers. Tara?
Okay, Jackie, thank you. Friends are raising funds for a young Calgary woman left widowed after her husband died while working on an oil rig. Derek Cullum died near Rimbey on December 28th. Cullum collapsed and co-workers performed CPR until EMS arrived and took over, but he could not be revived. Family and friends have raised $21,000 so far in a GoFundMe campaign to cover funeral costs and other immediate expenses that may arise for his 25-year-old wife. They were just married in July. Loved ones who also have family members working on rigs say Cullum was deeply cherished.
Derek was the give a shirt off your back kind of guy. He was very outdoorsy. He loved to hunt and play hockey. Whenever I talked to my husband on the phone and Derek was around, you could always hear him. He was loud and he was just full of life. It's important to help her during this time, because if it wasn't for these men doing their jobs, we wouldn't have a lot of things that we have today.
The cause of Cullum's death is not known. Occupational Health and Safety says it is investigating a fatal workplace incident after a fall. We have reached out to the employer, Precision Drilling, but we have not heard back. A woman faces a criminal charge after a pylon was tossed off a downtown high-rise onto a sidewalk below. Police say they got several complaints about this video posted online showing someone throwing a pylon over a balcony in the 1100 block of 3rd Street Southeast. Investigators say the 13-pound pylon was tossed from the 14th floor on Saturday. A 28-year-old woman is charged with mischief causing danger to life. Police say this is an incredibly dangerous act, and it's lucky no one was seriously hurt or killed. A man is recovering after he was stabbed this morning. It happened downtown on 6th Avenue Southwest, just after 8 a.m. The victim is in stable condition. No arrests have been made. A Lethbridge Uber driver is accused of sexually assaulting a young woman he was taking home. Police say it happened when a 20-year-old woman was getting a ride home from the Chinook Regional Hospital last November. The 20-year-old says she was driven to a secluded location and sexually assaulted. 27-year-old Manveer Singh has been charged and will appear in court later this week. Calgary police say they have arrested a man in an indecent act investigation after they released these images last week. Police say the man exposed himself to a mother and her children in Earlton back on December 4th. The family was stopped next to a bus, and one of the children noticed a man exposing himself and committing an indecent act. The name of the accused and the pending charges have not been released. An Edmonton family is asking WestJet to do better for its passengers after a very cramped flight last month. The airline recently announced a cabin redesign that adds more seats but limits reclining and offers less legroom in some rows. The carrier says the seating changes meet safety standards, but as Stephanie Thomas reports, some passengers say they didn't feel comfortable or safe.
Dad, can you just straighten out your legs there?
Impossible.
When the Schmidts booked their winter vacation to the Caribbean last month, one of their connecting flights from Edmonton to Toronto felt short of legroom.
It was shocking to get in there and then have my dad, who is 6'3", so he's tall, but not like abnormal human height, physically not be able to fit in the seat.
Amanda Schmidt posted the video online of her parents with their knees knocking the seat backs in front of them. It's been viewed over 1 million times. The Calgary-based carrier says it's changing cabin configuration to offer different prices for seat selection. In a statement, WestJet says these aircraft accommodate an extra row by varying seat pitch between 38 and 28 inches. 21 aircraft have completed the redesign. WestJet also says we are closely monitoring guest and employee feedback to assess the product's performance, comfort, and suitability.
They're forcing you to upgrade, basically, if you want to be able to safely fit in your seat.
An air passenger rights expert says offering adequate space for passengers is required under the contract of carriage. And just because the airplanes can add more seats with less room doesn't mean they should.
The ultimate obligation of the airline is to provide a seat that a passenger can fit into. That's the fundamental legal obligation here. It's not a question of how many inches it's not a question of whether a seat is particularly comfortable.
Although Schmidt's father was moved to a section with more legroom before takeoff, she and her mom, at 5'11" and 5'10" foot tall, said they remained in their tight squeeze. Schmidt says she has not heard from WestJet directly about her video.
I would be happy to support a different airline that maybe takes more consideration to, human well-being.
And Stephanie joins us from the newsroom now. So Stephanie, what else did WestJet say about these seats?
Tara, WestJet says 43 aircraft are slated for the cabin redesign, but it's taking feedback from passengers and employees. Now, we reported in December that executives were uncomfortable in the cheap seats between Toronto and Calgary, and we were told then that the reconfiguration plans would be paused until the spring. Tara, the airline also added that the redesign passed safety standards internally and from Transport Canada.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you. Air Transat pilots have voted overwhelmingly to ratify a new collective agreement. The 5-year deal includes raises of more than 50% for most of the airline's 750 pilots. The company says the agreement acknowledges the progress was needed to catch up to the industry.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Several business owners affected by the water main break on 16th Avenue Northwest say they desperately need compensation from the city. They say they're losing thousands of dollars because of the disruption. As Mark Villani reports, Mayor Jeremy Farkas is pledging potential relief.
In the blink of an eye, 16th Avenue was underwater.
All the cars were trapped.
Firefighters came to the rescue following a major water main break. But so did Saud Abbasi. The owner of a nearby pizza shop was in the middle of a delivery when he stepped in to help others.
My goal was to save lives rather than taking care of my business. with carrying them across the street to the safety point.
Abbasi owns Pizza Bay on Bowness Road, but he was forced to close the very next day on New Year's Eve due to a boil water advisory, losing out on $7,000 in revenue on what he called the busiest day of the year.
The system is not helping me whatsoever.
He's talking about Calgary's water main system, specifically the same Bears Paw feeder line that also ruptured back in 2024. This local cannabis shop says it lost 35% of its customers since then, now calling on the city to step up.
Like without compensation, there's no way that I can stay open. There's no way that I can pay rent, employees, utilities, that they don't stop.
It's why Calgary's mayor is now advising City Council to examine how future projects are planned, which would include the possibility of setting aside money for future capital budgets to help businesses.
It didn't make sense for local businesses to be left picking up the tab. In this case, I think it's very important for us as Calgarians to continue to step up, support these local businesses.
Farkas has yet to clarify if that means money could be provided to businesses during current repairs, which could see off and on water restrictions and construction for the next 2 years. And some nearby businesses say enough is enough.
I think it's only fair that the city compensates. This is their problem that was overlooked for years.
Stay tuned. I know for all of us as a council, we want to give much more than just moral support.
And Mark joins us tonight from the repair site. Mark, we're expecting more details from the city as to who bears the brunt of responsibility.
Yeah, that's right, Sarah. Tonight, City Council is expected to receive a final report from an independent panel that reviewed exactly what went wrong with Calgary's water infrastructure back in 2024 and how government oversight should change. Now, that report is made to be public tomorrow. In the meantime, the city says that there are some temporary water stoppages that are going to be in place here. These interruptions in place for 30 homes, one business, as well as the Calgary West Soccer Centre over the next couple of days. The city adding that water usage right now is still also quite high, about 30 million litres over the target amount. They're prompting every Calgarian to do their part. That includes limiting showers for 3 minutes, as well as making sure your laundry machines and dishwashers are used only when they're at full capacity. Tara.
Okay, Mark, thank you. Well, we're in for much warmer weather in the next week or so. That should probably help with all that outside work, Danielle.
Yes, absolutely. That will be helpful, especially by the weekend. You'll notice a massive difference in temperature. As we head through the work week, though, we're going to fluctuate. We'll, have warmer days like today. For example, today we got up to 4 degrees, and then we're kind of going to dip below freezing once again. So a bit of a slight roller coaster ride, but we'll still be mild for the entire work week. It just won't be quite as warm as what we had today. 0 is the temperature right now at the airport. Looking at those next 24 hours, small chance of flurries early in the morning, a wind chill of -12 to kick off the day, plus all the melting. Expect some icy patches on sidewalks and roads, but we will get up to the freezing mark in the afternoon. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. Mark Carney shrugs off U.S. plans to get more oil from Venezuela. So do some analysts who say the plan is years and billions of dollars away from reality. And a free training program to get more Calgary women interested in long-distance running. We're back in about 1 minute. Canada's Prime Minister signaled today he is not worried about U.S. plans for Venezuelan oil or the possibility that oil will displace Canada's offering on the U.S. market. Mark Carney says our energy sector will be competitive. CTV's Rachel Aiello drilled down today on the new calls from pipeline proponents in this country for Canada to ramp up exports and expedite new projects.
The Prime Minister is facing new pressure to ensure Canadian oil remains competitive in light of U.S. President Donald Trump pledging to rebuild Venezuela's energy sector.
We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago.
Asked today what impacts this could have on exports, Mark Carney said while a functioning Venezuela could eventually produce more oil, his government is working to expand Canadian capacity and access to new overseas markets.
We welcome the prospect of greater prosperity in Venezuela, but we also see the competitiveness of Canadian oil, and we're investing, or we're putting in place measures so that that's going to happen.
Carney's remarks came after Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre called for him to rapidly approve a new West Coast pipeline. In a letter to the PM, Poilievre said every barrel the United States sources from Venezuela could mean one less barrel these refineries would buy from Canada. Though experts say it will take several years and major investments before Venezuela could outpace the 4.5 billion barrels of crude that Canada produces per day.
It'll take billions and billions of dollars to correct the mismanagement of the Venezuelan crude oil system.
Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says the events in Venezuela emphasize the need to reach new buyers with new pipelines, while BC Premier David Eby said today he disagrees. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Alberta government has set up a website focused on its proposed new pipeline to the BC coast. The website shows the status of the most recent efforts. The UCP government is demanding the removal of obstacles to a new pipeline, such as a tanker ban and federal environmental regulations. The proposal is facing opposition from First Nations groups and the province of BC. The Prime Minister signed a memorandum of understanding with Alberta to expedite the project if it can get support from those stakeholders. The province hopes the website will help attract an investor and says it will submit the proposal to the Major Projects Office by July 1st.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
A home in Quebec has been renamed the Ice Castle for all the wrong reasons. A tenant turned off the heat and then left. The water pipes burst, flooding the apartment and leaving a thick layer of ice everywhere. Jean-Pierre Beauchemin reports.
Much of this two-story apartment is now locked in ice, frozen in time. Some of the scattered frozen piles look like chiseled ice sculptures. But these were shaped by misfortune. This is an extreme case, says owner Jacques No. The tenant left on vacation and probably wanted to save money on electricity. We know everything is more expensive these days, and he turned off the heat. Now, the owner isn't quite sure when this happened, but the pipes froze, the toilet cracked, and liters of water flowed out and froze in this cold winter. Ice-encased appliances, and it's about 30 centimeters thick on the kitchen floor. This ice castle, as neighbors call it, isn't quite as palatial as Edmonton's, built for fun with its caverns and archways. And it's not exactly as magical as Elsa's castle in Disney's Frozen.
Whoa! Now that's ice. I might cry.
The owner here too might have cried, but is busy tending heaters to melt the ice.
Malheureusement.
That was an icicle falling off the ceiling. Once the ice is melted, the unit will have to be stripped and rebuilt to be a cozy, warm home once again. The tenant hadn't paid his rent in over 6 months and has now been evicted. Now, the homeowner says this is a good reminder to us all not to turn the temperature all the way down to keep our homes safe and warm.
Oh, what a disaster.
Oh, no.
Yikes. Well, hopefully we won't see any frozen, exploding pipes now that we're starting to warm up here in Calgary.
Yeah, it's nice to have a little warm up here. And our warm up will be fairly minimal for the work week, but it will be a little more significant by the weekend. We should even get in the double digits by then. All right, 0 is the current temperature in the city. Again, today's daytime high was +4, and it was a little on the windy side. Certainly windy south of the city, Lethbridge over to the Pincher Creek area. Pincher Creek's maximum wind gust today was 94 kilometers per hour and closer to 70 in Lethbridge. For Calgary and over through to Medicine Hat in those 40s. And then if you're not seeing any numbers here, it's because nothing registered in these areas. But in the 40s for Banff and Cranbrook. So a breezy day for many communities. It was enough to get those temperatures up because it was wind out of the west. So a nice little Chinook setup. No surprise that there is a wind warning in place for the far southwest corner. So Fort Macleod, Nanton, Pincher Creek, Crowsnest Pass, 100 kilometer per hour gusts are still possible up until about 10 o'clock tonight. And then it will start to ease for the evening. On the BC side, they're getting the snow from this. So the mountains are protecting us from the moisture for the most part for most of the province. But around Fernie, there's a snowfall warning in place. They're looking at 15 to 25 centimeters there tonight and early tomorrow morning. Again, this will come to an end, so the winds will be more reasonable tomorrow. You're looking at 70 kilometer per hour gusts in Pincher Creek and 70 for Lethbridge. So fairly similar for Lethbridge tomorrow, and everywhere else looks fairly quiet. It doesn't look like we'll get wind gusts, maybe winds up to just about 30 kilometers per hour, so nothing really significant. All right, there's that system in the west, and we're looking at snow building into the mountains over this next 12 hours and throughout the night. We're even going to see a couple pockets creep through. So we have the potential early in the morning in Calgary of seeing isolated flurries. Nothing significant, nothing to shovel, but you may see a couple snowflakes out there. Then this will push into the Medicine Hat area. We're looking at the winds tomorrow being a lot calmer out of the west, which means temperatures will not get quite as warm. So you're looking at a high of 0 for tomorrow in the city compared to the 4 we had today. Then we'll dip below freezing for a daytime high on Thursday. We'll pop back up above freezing on Friday, just barely, but we will. And then, as you can see, as we head into the weekend, very, very warm temperatures expected. 8 degrees for Saturday and likely the double digits by Sunday. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. There is a move this year to get more Calgary women out on the city's running trails and pathways. Run Calgary has launched a free training program that will offer women a chance to run and improve together in 2026. As Tim Brooke explains, the long-distance push is already a big hit.
When the Service Calgary Marathon ran through the city last spring, organizers estimate only about 30% of finishers were women. In 2026, there's a concerted effort to boost that number.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
These are just a few of the athletes in Run Calgary's new women's training program.
There's always been a need to really foster women in distance running, and this seemed like the perfect way to segue into something like that.
The program will provide not only group runs, but also valuable resources like step-by-step training plans and online and in-person mentorship. Organizers tell us sometimes women say they can't fit in running while managing a career, a family, or if they have physical limitations.
Your body responds different to the sport regardless of who you are. And so I think coming into the sport with more people hand in hand and just asking all the critical questions is so important. It makes you a better runner.
Fitness coaches, medical professionals, and even psychology experts are involved. They'll help prep the women in the months leading up to the full and half marathons.
And what we're asking participants to do is in line with something that looks accessible, feels accessible, but then that is also paired with the proper supports.
Those supports, both professional and personal. For many of the 800 women who have already signed up for the program, the latter is paramount.
We're all out here for the same reason. We're all training for the same cause. And I think it's really cool that we get to kind of break off and learn more and grow in that process.
Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
The free program is for runners of all abilities, and it will be accessible for women to join until mid-April. For more information, you can go to our website, ctvnewscalgary.ca. World leaders gather in Paris to finalize security agreements for Ukraine. We have the details on Canada's contribution to the coalition of the willing. And it's like something from the movies. A Hollywood actor and her mom visit Canada for a spectacular light show. Now that Venezuela's dictator Nicolas Maduro has been captured and charged with drug trafficking, many are asking what's next for that country. The U.S. president says he'll run Venezuela, but it's unclear what the plan actually is. Here's CTV's Joy Malbon in Washington.
The U.S. president taking a victory lap at the renamed Trump Kennedy Center.
It was brilliant tactically.
Donald Trump reveling in the American military might that captured former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, now in a U.S. prison charged with narco-terrorism.
We had a lot of boots on the ground, but it was amazing. And think of it, nobody was killed, and on the other side, a lot of people were killed. Unfortunately, I say that, soldiers. Cubans, mostly Cubans.
Tensions are high in Caracas after gunfire erupted overnight. Armed military police now patrolling the streets. The U.S. president insists he's in charge and will run Venezuela and help rebuild its oil infrastructure. Maria Machado, the democratically elected opposition leader who's in hiding, vowed to return, praised Trump's actions.
What he has done, as I said, is historic. It's a huge step towards a democratic transition.
And yet the Trump administration isn't focused on that, supporting Maduro's hand-picked vice president as leader, saying the U.S. can work with her.
The initial hopes that the departure of Maduro might represent a change in this hated regime have been dashed, seemingly endorsed by the United States, a woman who's got significant amounts of blood on her hands.
Trump's national security strategy suggests America will exert more control. The State Department posting this with the words, "This is our hemisphere." The president warns Colombia could be next, that country beefing up troops on the Venezuelan border. And Greenland on edge after Trump's closest advisor said this.
For the United States to secure the Arctic region, to protect and defend NATO and NATO interests, obviously Greenland should be part of the United States.
Donald Trump's threats have rattled several countries as many question what comes next for the people of Venezuela and when or if there will be elections. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
The Prime Minister was in Paris today to discuss Ukraine's security priorities. Allies in the Coalition of the Willing signed a statement pledging their support. CTV's Michael Couture has the details.
Ahead of the meeting hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron, Prime Minister Mark Carney said the goal was to finalize security guarantees for Ukraine. World leaders were joined by representatives from the U.S., hoping to build on the momentum towards peace.
Our main objective is to finalize the security guarantees amongst ourselves which create the possibility of a just and lasting peace for Ukraine.
The meeting brought together more than 30 world leaders who make up the Coalition of the Willing. They agreed to participate in a U.S.-led ceasefire monitoring and verification mechanism, long-term support for Ukraine's armed forces, plus a multinational force to backstop Ukraine's military. There was also agreement on finalizing binding commitments to support Ukraine in the event that Russia breaks the ceasefire. And the countries agreed to deepen long-term defense cooperation with Ukraine.
Following a ceasefire, the UK and France will establish military hubs across Ukraine and build protected facilities for weapons and military equipment to support Ukraine's defensive needs.
Now, Canada's contribution could include troops on the ground as part of that multilateral backstop, something the government is ramping up for.
The largest military buildup in generations, coming over the course of the next 5 years, an additional $80 billion of investment, in part because of issues like this.
U.S. buy-in is key to any plan succeeding, and President Trump's envoy is supportive of this one.
We think we're largely finished with security protocols, which are important so that the people of Ukraine know that when this ends, it ends forever.
Regardless of the result of today's meeting, nothing can be put into place until there is a ceasefire. Prime Minister Carney reiterated the final elements of that need to be negotiated between the U.S., Ukraine, and Russia. Michael Couture, CTV News, Paris.
Just ahead, a brand new book on the boss. A family's fascination with nature results in a tale about Banff's most famous bear. If you know the name of any grizzly bear in Banff National Park, it is likely the boss. Now, even more people will know about the beloved bear because he is the star of a new children's book. Alicia Fieldberg reports.
He's been caught on camera many times, and now Banff National Park's most famous bear is the subject of a children's book. The boss has been the dominant grizzly in the area for more than a decade.
And he's a great, subject to write a book about because he's been around humans so much.
The author's kids love watching bears on National Park's wildlife cameras, which sparked many trips and many more sightings.
Well over 100, maybe close to 200 bears now.
including the boss.
We come to Banff quite often, so we actually had the privilege to see him.
That inspired this American author who worked with an Edmonton publisher and a distributor from Dead Man's Flats.
Important to support local culture, right? Respect nature and creation and learn a little bit about it.
Our sort of celebrity bear, but it's fantastic. It's exactly the sort of book that we like to support.
The fictional tale depicts the celebrity bear at famous sites in Banff, and one image seems to have inspired his travels.
I think Boss read my book as well. After the book came out, he was spotted in Johnston's Canyon.
The goal is to inspire humans as well, to protect nature and understand the challenges bears face.
They have to learn about coexisting with us as much as we need to keep learning how to be safe around them.
The Boss is the first Canadian bear featured by the author, but likely not the last. She's also planning a book about bears in Jasper National Park. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
And you can find the little Grizzly who walked like a boss on shelves in Owl's Nest Bookstore in Calgary, Cafe Books in Canmore, and the White Museum in Banff. Love a local story like that. That's great.
Yeah, great one.
All right, well, actress Jennifer Garner rang in the new year in Canada. She wasn't here as part of a movie. She brought her mom, and they were in search of something special.
Just like Mom ordered, right overhead, bright in the sky, bright to the naked eye. Greens and yellows and purples from one side of the sky to the other, dancing overhead.
So Garner's mom told her, in 2026, I want to see the Northern Lights. So they did. They headed to Yellowknife. Yep, they were in search of an Aurora adventure. They found it on the first night, no less.
Beautiful.
The sky lit up for them, and Garner says it was the perfect way to ring in the new year.
And they made it sound even more magical than it is.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah. So cool.
Well, now to a dad who may never agree to take out the trash again.
Oh my God.
He wasn't expecting that. His little tot decided to hide inside a trash bag on garbage day, and she gave her dad a jump scare. She was very happy with herself that her prank worked out.
That's why Dad should never have to take out the garbage. Things like that.
But now he has an excuse.
Look how patiently she was waiting there.
I know. I wonder how long she had to sit there waiting to pull that trick on him. Yeah, very good. Well, finally, a catwalk like you've probably never seen before.
It's tricky to rock around, that's right, on time is tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky to rock around.
Wow, that was a twist. This is Lucy. She can use the ledge like a runway. She walks to one end, backs up a little bit, and then does a complete full flip to turn around. That's pretty good. That's a skinny little space to work there.
Yes, in that tight space. That's amazing.
I love that little turn, though. That's great.
Look at it in her mouth. Yeah, I just want to play, right?
She's done that plenty of times by the look of it. Well, still will come smartwatches and GPS trackers made and tested right here. We'll take a look at the tech company known around the world with roots near Calgary.
Okay, we've had a bit of a windy day, close to 50 kilometer per hour gusts in this city. It's still a little windy at times, and it will be for the next couple of hours before things fully quiet down. And then tomorrow in the city, calm winds. But because the winds will be calmer, temperatures will not get quite as warm. We are currently sitting at the freezing mark, but today's high was +4 and normal is -3. So we're certainly above normal for today. It was a nice day. Keep in mind with all the melting that happened out there, that will freeze tonight. So there will be ice patches on sidewalks and roads. So slippery spots for sure in the morning hours, and a wind chill of -12 in the city in the morning when heading off to work and school. We did get to 4, though, today. Quite a range of temperatures across the country today. 7 in Victoria, Vancouver for a daytime high. -6 in Winnipeg, -9 in Ottawa, +1 in Toronto, 0 in Halifax. So all over the place. Mother Nature's trying to figure this one out for today. We're sitting at 2 in Lethbridge, 0 in Brooks, at the freezing mark in Calgary. Mild temperatures. We're still going to have mild temperatures for this entire work week. It's the weekend, though, that you'll notice a big warm up, and we may even get into the double digits by Sunday. Not a whole lot going on right now, other than it's still windy in the southwest corner. We still have that freezing fog east of the QE2 for Hanna, areas around Hanna and Oyen and Drumheller. That's going to make its way out. Now, for for Calgary, that's already made its way out. Things improved today. We got warm. We had some melting. We'll still be warm tomorrow, but again, a wind chill of -12 to kick off the day and a high at the freezing mark in the afternoon with calm winds. That's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fix right or it's free. Scammers who demanded ransom have used AI to make a fake image of a missing Calgary woman. The image highly disturbed the family of Deanna Erickson, who vanished last year. Police say the photo is a fake and Erickson remains missing. Friends are raising funds for the widow of Derek Cullum, who died while working on an oil rig last week. Occupational Health and Safety is now investigating the cause. And a woman is charged with mischief causing danger to life after a video was posted online showing a pylon being thrown from a downtown high-rise. Fitness watches, bike computers, GPS devices for boats, even a tracker that monitors a horse's health. They're all products developed in Garmin Canada's headquarters in Cochrane. Tyler Barrow has more on their success story.
For Garmin Canada, time is precious. But at the Garmin Canada headquarters in Cochrane, Managing Director Jim Rooney watches more than one clock.
Yeah, people look at you strange when you wear 2. They will look at you really strange when you wear 4.
He's testing out new features on his fitness watches. His journey began in 1998 with 3 other engineers in a Cochrane garage, developing a device that could clip to a person's shoe and tell them how fast they were running.
We realized, hey, maybe this is something that really could go somewhere, and we ended up starting a company out of it.
His company was called Dynastream Innovations. It was acquired by Garmin Canada in 2006. It now sells smartwatches and GPS products. And its headquarters has expanded well beyond a garage. Garmin Canada is in this downtown Cochrane building. In 2024, it added a 3rd floor as its workforce continues to grow.
Over the last 5 years, we've grown at 18% or more 4 out of 5 years.
And locals have a hand in its success. People in the community are able to test products that the performance team tracks. For athletes, they like the innovation the company brings to market.
Some of the more advanced, almost like Phoenix-like adventure watch features on a slightly lighter and sleeker platform has been really handy for maps, for performance.
Fitness wearables have taken off with consumers as the global market is valued at around $60 to $70 billion. A senior analyst for the company says Garmin is a small player in the highly fragmented market, but points to innovations like its Blaze equine wellness system as examples of their ability to continue gaining market share. It helps monitor a horse's health.
I think there'll be somebody out with it at the Stampede.
The product came to market in August. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Cochrane.
Canadian oil stocks were dragged down Monday by the news from Venezuela. Concerns around the future of the sector spurred investors again today. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Marla Fernandez.
Canadian oil companies had been hoping for a stock rebound today, but didn't get it. They got hit on Monday after the weekend capture of the Venezuelan leader. It raises concerns about a bigger supply of oil coming from that country under Washington's guidance, and that could compete or replace Canadian oil exports. Cenovus Energy, Athabasca Oil, and Canadian Natural Resources stocks were all down again today. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 72.42. West Texas Intermediate down over $1 to 57.13. Western Canadian Select is up 51 cents to 44.44. And the TSX gained 188 points today for the second record close of the week. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Statistics Canada says spending by international tourists in Canada was up in the 3rd quarter. Latest numbers show tourism spending rose 0.7% in the 3rd quarter. It says more international visitors are spending more money across most tourism sectors. Spending by Canadian tourists within our country slowed. It's up only 0.5%. That's a drop from the boost it saw last quarter with the push to support Canadian businesses. Well, goalies, of course, have to be fast and nimble to be good. And now they're sharpening their skills with the help of a real circus acrobat. Glenn has that story for us next. Well, it might be the off-season in the CFL, but that doesn't mean that there isn't any news. Glenn is back with us. So the Stamps have been busy with signings and a few other things.
Well, Terry, you can't play football forever. And today, a local football player announced his retirement after a 5-year CFL career. Running back Jeshurun Antwi has decided to hang up the pads. And we played high school football here in Calgary with McNally Lacombe, and also starred for the UFC Dinos. In the CFL, he played for the Lions, the Alouettes, and his last season came with the Stampeders. His highlight was winning the Grey Cup with the Owls in 2023. He says going out a Stampeder is the perfect way to end his career. And the Stamps also rounded out their coaching staff yesterday. Final piece of the puzzle was Jarius Jackson, who's been hired as a quarterback's coach. This next story is all about perseverance and inspiration. When life takes something away, you find a new path. Tatiana Stradoff had a lifelong dream of performing in the circus. And just when that dream was about to take flight, life dealt her a shattering blow.
About 10 and a half years ago, I was just about to begin my dream job in Europe. And 48 hours before I'm about to get on the plane, I was diagnosed with a rare bone disease.
The recovery was long, about 7.5 years, and by that time, any thoughts of a career in the circus were long gone. But life works in funny ways, and for Tatiana, when that door shut, another one opened.
But I'd reconnected with a friend who had been working with goalies for decades, and she invited me out to come and work with a few of her goaltenders. And I remember thinking, what am I getting myself into? But from that very first session, I saw a real need for a kind of training that was mental, physical, emotional.
On this day, Stradoff is working with Calgary Hitman goaltenders Eric Tu and Aiden Hess. The workouts are intense, juggling's a big part of it, helping these goaltenders with hand-eye coordination and improving their focus.
Part of goaltending is tracking the puck, and yeah, juggling is basically the basics of working on your tracking. So when you're away from the rink, it's something that you can do and improve on, and yeah, that's what makes this such a benefit to our game.
Hess says he's come a long way since that first session.
I could not juggle at all. I could barely even get 2 balls, going, but no, I couldn't juggle. And, I mean, she's been such a good help with this, and I think she's a great teacher and a mentor with all this, and I think she really helped me out.
Stradoff now works with over 1,000 goaltenders in various leagues. She started working with NHL goaltenders and players. She isn't sure how big this is going to get.
I never dreamed that I would be doing this now, because it was sort of beyond my realm of what I thought was possible. And what I'm doing now, it's unfolding each day. I feel like the world is so big. I'm still exploring it and seeing what's possible.
It's so cool to watch. Hitman goaltending coach Theo Zubat says this has really helped his goaltenders, and Tatiana says soon they'll be doing sessions on the ice in full gear.
Ooh,
imagine that.
Her too, maybe.
Yeah, that's right, eh?
That'll level the playing field for them.
Very cool, yeah.
That's great, Glenn. Thanks. So interesting. Well, a nice turn of weather, I guess.
Yeah, we needed a little warm up. Although I'm not sure if you feel it in your head. I feel it in my head a little bit. And you'll feel it on and off this week as the winds pick up here and there out of the west and get those temperatures up. So it won't be quite as warm tomorrow with a high of 0, small chance of a few flurries early in the morning, but other than that, a quiet day in the city. -2 for our high on Thursday, and check out Saturday and Sunday, 8 and 10. Oh, wow. All right, Weather Window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, Alberta's climate. Nancy Twiddell sent us in from West Springs. And Rime Ice couldn't look more beautiful than it looks in our city. Wouldn't you say?
It was so pretty
or
driving
in Alberta
around the city
in general.
yesterday. Yeah, it really was gorgeous.
Yeah, so we're very lucky, but nicer to have a warm up as well.
Yeah. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a terrific evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.